Okay,
Go
so,
ahead, Rick.
all right, good. So we're ready to begin the afternoon session for Monday, October 26, 2015. This is regarding the Blueprint Week that the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute has been offering to the public. And this is the afternoon teaching, which will be more on the theoretical and as opposed to the practical this morning. Okay, I think Mr. Kesh is ready to go there with his new whiteboard that we're still getting used to, but is quite an interesting tool, I think. Go ahead, Mr. Kesh.
So many likes. Okay, doesn't matter. Uh, good afternoon, good evening, good day to you, wherever you start and you're watching these broadcastings. Today is the second part of the first day of what we call a Blueprint Day. What the Blueprint has stood for and it stands for is a technical word for the copy of the origin, which means in olden days, if you were a craftsman, when you made a blueprint was the final page, final design, which everything was manufactured of. If you were still, I think, used in some industries, when you had a blueprint in your hand, you knew this is the end product you have to produce. It goes back to the craftsman times when we used to have the drawing boards and with the bigger scales. And when we did the blueprints, it meant it's sacrosanct. It's the final and it'll be copied and everything will be made up. We call it the blueprint, which means we share our knowledge of what has been with the what you call the structure of the development of the blue box, which is the energy unit, Magrav energy unit. We try to keep, if you were me and you could see what I can see, you laugh your head off, but I keep very quiet. I've just seen something very interesting. So what happens is that we made the system. The systems are getting released literally from the factory this week. We see that the units which you received or you receive is made of plasma, works on a new structure of life. It works on a structure where in reality we we have never been allowed to understand because it was too far out for us to be able to comprehend the simplest part of the technology, of the whole creation. Somehow I can't get rid of my dots. Turn a new page. Where? Here. Bottom here. I can turn as many pages as you like. Okay, new page, new life. This is a new page for human race, new energy. We accidentally turn the page on human life. Let us look at what is plasma. Plasma is literally been made to a word, especially in energy technology, especially in the world of medicine, to something, especially when it comes to production of energy, that is worse word than nuclear. If you were a nuclear physicist 50 years ago, you were a stupid genius because you thought you can understand more. So our belief has been in a very simple way that we had, ooh, we lost our pen. We want a pen back. The top one. I have changed it. I don't need this. Pardon? I have done that. Yeah, but I've gone to the triangle. You lot get to know more about this than I do. You see, it doesn't go because I have dots. I think I have to go to my, In the middle. Choose the line. Okay, but they'll still have a triangle. Oh, it's done. Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you. I was playing. You see, this has happened when you get a new toy. This is the problem, playing with a new toy. Okay, now, sorry about this. You got to bear with us. Happened to be today coming in, so that's what it is. It's been sitting down there for 2 weeks. Remember one thing. On this planet, we are used to what we call matter state. What have we done with matter? We have melted it, we have burnt it, we have liquefied it, we have frozen it, we have vaporized it, and that's all we could do in the condition of the environmental gravitational field and magnetic field of this planet. Then, in the process of scientific evolution, we have managed to go deeper and deeper in this matter state. We became atomic, and then we got a little more cleverer. We went more deeper in the atom in past 100 years, and we become what is known as a nucleus. But what we have done in all these statements of matter state, different condition of environment, atomic or nuclear, we have never walked away from one reality. In atomic, we call it an atom. It could be proton and electron, and we call this one entity. Ooh, looks good. Then in nuclear, we went into the structure of the center. And now, instead of dealing as a matter with a big lump of atoms, we became to deal with one atom, and then we came to deal with the center of the atom, which what we call nucleus and the nuclear part. But the reality hasn't changed. The nuclear next step to it is plasma, because that's what is the next step of evolution. What is inside this? This is a plasma. How far can we break into it to understand more of it? Nuclear physicists made the life very interesting, and they got most of the people frightened of them, because to want people to listen to you, you show them the power. And accidentally, as Einstein said himself, the biggest mistake in his life was getting the Americans to build a nuclear bomb, the atomic bomb, which went on Hiroshima. His advice was taken seriously, and as we know, American government decided to go full whack with it. But because they were frightened of it, they saw how many it can kill, they start valuing us and respecting us falsely. Now we go to the next step, which is going further in. We came from the solid, we went to atomic, we went to nuclear. Now is the time, what we call the plasma, which what is the nucleus is made of? What is that structure? And now we've seen the same falsification of knowledge is carried through with the plasma technologies. But this time, we are double-minded, because we attach plasma to a lot of things. Plasma of the blood, plasma of this, plasma of energy, and very recently, in the past couple of years, the ones who don't understand, now, with the same falsification of power of nuclear, they added new stupidity into plasma, what they call the God particles. Because now you don't know whatever we say you've got to accept. So, in reality, it's the next step looking inside the construction of the universe when you look inside the plasma. There is no God particle. The ones who came up with the God particle, it means, oh God, they don't even have a brain to think. Because if the plasma reduces in strength enough, at the boundary when it manifests itself as a plasma itself, literally, if you think of it, here is a God particle, because that's the point of manifestation of the plasma itself. But now they are looking inside it to find where this might happen here, that they could call it a God particle. So here is a God particle. Outside, then it shows that the plasma itself is not a God particle. So this shows the hypocrisy which has been created around the plasma technology. Because this way they can milk the society for the money as a worth, building hundreds of millions of research centers for just PhDs and good houses with swimming pool. Otherwise, doesn't create anything else. So, as we are Keshe Foundation, and we past being a nuclear physicist, it's old fashioned, we don't wear these clothes anymore. Nowadays, it's fashionable to be a plasma physicist. So now we explain in a simple way that all of us, the whole of the human race, over the next couple of years, and especially after this week, you all become plasma physicists. And the funniest thing is, do you know what's going to happen? All the plasma physicists which are sitting in CERN, they laugh at you. This is not that we are the physicists. We know you're rubbish talking, because this way it shows their degree was worth nothing. We made a lot of money for a lot of people to research into nothing. Just good titles. So what is the plasma physics? What is the plasma? You want to see what is inside of a neutron. You want to see what's inside of the proton. There is no difference between a proton, electron, neutron, the sun, the earth, the universe. It's the same circle. You decided to put different name to it according to the size of the plasma inside it. But the working is the same. They're all dynamic. They all carry gravitational magnetical field, which is repulsion. And they all share their field with their environment. So if plasma is supposed to be a mystery, you don't understand it in the electron level, you don't understand it in proton or in neutron, or the earth or the sun. Look at the biggest size of the universe. You see the same composition. Somewhere the energy from the central line of the universe, which is here, has emitted, and if I can go a little bit less, and in a slowing down, somewhere it has interacted with enough magnetic fields. It's like crashing the car. When you're going, let's say 100 kilometers an hour, and you have no brake, you keep on hitting different trees and barriers till you come to a halt. That's what happens. When a magnetic gravitational field of a plasma from center of the universe is released, as it slows down, as by interacting with other fields, somewhere here manifests itself in a matter-state strength. So now you can't see it in the plasma of a proton, you can see it in the plasma of the universe. You can see it in the plasma of the solar system. The same thing is, just change the name. The sun, the sun has created radiation, and these radiations battle with other fields in their environment, and somewhere when they slow down, they don't need necessarily Earth to convert to a neutron, or to a nitrogen, or to a proton. Somewhere in the plasma of this solar system, if the fields becomes the strength of the matter state of the solar system, then at this point somewhere, you see manifestation of the matter. If it's the strength of a nitrogen, you call it the nitrogen. If it's the strength of oxygen, you call it oxygen. So now you see, we don't need to come up with all these fancy words and names, bosons and what do you call it, quarks and up quarks and down quarks and bosons. because we never understood. So if there is an up quark and down quark, I think Earth must be the up quark. Mars could be the down quark, and bosons most probably are the moons. So creating again another bunch of false names for the same thing is leading mankind to the wrong way to look at the whole structure of the universe and the work of the universe. And that's why when we put things in order,
Lost your voice there, Mr. Keshe. Can you check your battery?
pardon?
Oh, we just lost you for a second. Sorry.
Am I back?
Yep.
Yeah. So what it is, these names have become another structure in the whole, misinforming the public, misinforming the knowledge of the humanity for a few people's titles. Because they spend a lot of time getting these PhDs, getting these seats as professors, and now that they see the reality is out and their position is in danger, they're not man enough to say, we made a mistake. Now we start with a new way. We start with understanding new thing. So what do they say? Can you change the name of your plasma? Because the way you explain the plasma, my professorship worth nothing. We had it. The top Italian nuclear physicist, professor, sent by American to us, to the Sensano, when he realized he's the senior advisor to CERN in Italy, in Switzerland. His patents are used to control the plasma, which actually all of you do like this from now on. You know more about the plasma than the professor does. So when he realized what he says, he doesn't say you are right or wrong. He says, can you change the name of your plasma the way you define it? Because otherwise my patent's worth nothing. So this guy, instead of being very correct, he goes and puts opposition against Keshe Foundation because his PhD patents, whatever, are worthless. So now what we do in Keshe Foundation, we make a physicist out of all of you, a plasma physicist, because this is something you've been born with. You all know it. You all understand it in such a simple way, you do not need somebody else to tell you. Because if you understand the work of the plasma in every state, travel in space for man become as easy as drinking a cup of water. Because if you understand the behavior of plasma in any of these states, you can produce it at the strength which you need anywhere in the universe. This is what we teach here at the Keshe Foundation and Spaceship Institute. How easy a man can understand the work of the creation and the work of the universe in a very, very simple way. That, as we say, with not much intelligence, we are all intelligent enough to survive in a space if we go to a space, because we understand the totality. So what is in the plasma? What is the mystery with this new word? There is no mystery. If you look at it, the reality is that somewhere in the universe, magnetic fields flow everywhere, in every shape and form and directions. Some go, and in so many ways, some come back. And somewhere, when the fields are strong enough and of the same, they interact. If they are of the similar strength and they are of opposite strength, they create a position where this one, if I choose a different color, this one tries to link up with this, and this one tries to link up with this. So what happens? In trying to link up, what they make is very simple. You have what wants to go out the black. I have to measure my speed with this thing. It's the speed of rotation. Ooh, it's a good plasma. So you have this. This is what's trying to get out. It's okay because they have different shapes. And you have another one which is trying to pull in. Ooh. So the one which is trying to pull in becomes gravitational, and the one which is pushing away becomes magnetical. You have to realize in English word, because of the use of too many words of similar things, there is a confusion in wording, but it's not confusion in the science. Gravitation means to gravitate, to get pulled into. Magnetical or magnetical repulsion is when you separate each other, when you push against each other. If I choose two magnets, Fabio, are you there? Can you come close on the picture? If we take two magnets, two spherical magnets, if we rotate them, if we allow them, you see what happens. They always find a point of reference. Some will go clockwise, some go anti-clockwise. And in so many ways, we don't need much to be able to attract. So what happens is that magnetical and gravitational work in a total opposite way. It's okay, I've finished.
Thing?
Yes, if you want to do it.
We didn't catch it in the video.
So what happens is you have, this is the shape of plasma. Plasmas are always round. We haven't seen a square plasma. So this magnet has its north pole or exit and entry. And this entry and exit has interaction with another if it's opposite. And if I turn it, you see it cannot come together. But if you look, if you can come close enough, you see it doesn't need much energy to attract the other one. So as you see, there is no fuel burned. There is no rocket engine, there is no fuel. Only what brings the thing together is interaction of gravitational magnetic fields, if it's attracting or repulsing. If it's attracting, we call it gravitation. If it is repulsion, we call it magnetical. So what happens is that this is the shape of a plasma. A plasma attracts what we call gravitation. A plasma creates repulsion amongst its fields we call magnetical, which is the repulsion. Not magnetic. Magnetical like gravitational. Gravitational is the interaction between two fields which are opposite to each other, and magnetical, which is similar, which they reject each other. Atmosphere of the Earth, we call it magnetical. Gravitation of the Earth, we call what it pulls and holds us to. So one creates a shielding, and the other one creates attraction to hold on to what you have. And this is the behavior of any plasma. Earth has the same. It has a shielding, we call it the atmosphere. It has a gravitation, we call it that it holds on to it. Sun has the same. Proton has the same. Electron has the same. So this is the behavior of a plasma, and when you are in a plasmatic condition, it means continuously you're in a process of getting attracted, or you attract yourself. When you get attracted, you connect yourself in this line. When you attract, you connect yourself in this line. So continuously you give and you take and you connect. So now, if you look at the totality of it, a plasma like Earth creates a flow of gravitational and magnetical in 360 degree in a spherical shape, but the flow of the magnetic field in it and the flow of magnetical field out of it creates a constant flow that it can exist in its environment. So now you're all plasma physicists. Plasma, in a single language, in a simple physics language, is the interaction of magnetic gravitational field forces, which their totality creates an environment that collectively they interact with their environment. Call this collective interaction plasma of a proton, or Earth, or Sun, or our universe. There is no difference. It's the amount of the field in the entity. The less we have created a name for it, the smaller size, the bigger we have created a different name for it in a bigger size of the mass of gravitational magnetic field, the strength within the center of this entity. So if you put trillions and trillions and trillions of electrons together, you still create yourself a sun. If you put trillions and trillions of suns, gravitational magnetic field plasma together, you can create the power of a galaxy, and the same. So it's as it reduces in strength in gravitational magnetic field, it appears in different state. The state of matter, as we always say, is somewhere here because it's very low. The state of emotion is somewhere here. The state of universal central plasma is somewhere here. But in fact, they're all plasmas. Even in a matter state is a plasma. But a plasma where the magnetic gravitational field in respect to the environmental gravitational magnetic field of the Earth manifests themselves as a solid, tightly packed. We change the environment of it, we saw them as nanomaterial, we change the environment of them, we saw them releasing themselves as what we call GANs, and you see it tomorrow. So we, as human beings, now have the ability to create conditions without the environment, but with gravitational magnetic field forces. Is mastering the work of the universe. And that's why the work of the Keshe Foundation looks so strange. This is why, as somebody said, I've become the guy who said the Earth is round, and they showed him a pole and a rope. But hopefully we passed that time. We've seen it. The Belgian government has been trying to be the hanger to stop this technology to come out, because we declared there is a new science in man's intelligence to understand. So now you understand why there is such an opposition to the Keshe Foundation work with the plasma. Because now we have made plasma at the reach of every man. A 5-year-old child, as we always say, in China is producing nanomaterial in the toilet. More important than the physicists in CERN. This is why the physicists in CERN have a problem, because their intelligence is not a 5-year-old girl. That's where it comes, and that's why you see so much opposition. We are terrorists and the rest. Now we all, as a human race, using the plasma, we all have become terrorists against one nation, and it's called Belgium. The rest of the world is moving on. So now you got to understand why we have to understand the totality of this, that no one else can abuse the human race, because understanding the work of the plasma is the key to travel in the universe. Keshe Foundation is a space institute. We don't use fuels, we don't burn anything. We use the understanding of the interaction of the gravitational magnetic field, both magnetically and gravitationally, in respect to one entity to another. If you look, I had the magnets in my hand. If I put these magnets on a table, transparent that you can see, I don't do anything with it. It's just that the magnets, their position dictates each other. Can you see this, or do you want to come closer? Yes? So what happens is that what we do, I don't do anything. Do you want to take this board with you, or can we put it on the table to go bigger? We're gonna screen share with you. Just wait 1 second.